Let's learn how to be not bad with money. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Kim Tries, where we're trying to be better adults. Today we're gonna make a budget for August of 2020. Because I think since quarantine, me and my debit card have become really, really good friends. And it's caused issues. And honestly, because of all the moving videos that I've been making, obviously I've moved and I've moved in with my boyfriend, which has like drastically changed my finances on how much I pay for rent and utilities and like grocery shopping and all of that. And I just haven't reworked my budget, so it's like not even accurate right now. And so it's time. It's time we get it together. So we're gonna do that together. I use an app called Mint, which I'll show the icon here so you can find it in the App Store, but it's also a web-based application. This is not sponsored at all. It's just what I typically use. It makes it easy for me to like not have to actively track my finances sometimes. However, like there are things I wish it could do. So I think right now I have to figure out kind of like what spending categories are like really important to me and what I need to kind of change, and we can go from there. So this is what the Mint website looks like. I can also insert a screenshot of what the Mint app looks like. And all you're gonna do is sign up if you've never used Mint before, or sign in. And again, this isn't sponsored. This is just what I do, and it seems to work for me in the capacity that I need to budget right now. So we're gonna sign in. All right, and I'm gonna have to blur that, but that's fine. And then click sign in. And then all your information comes up. From here on out, I'll just insert pictures of what I am talking about right here, and it'll make it a little bit easier to discuss, and I don't have to figure out how to blur all my accounts. Okay, honestly, the first thing I would do in making a budget, and when I made my first budget, was to figure out what I realistically spend money on. And so that would require you to kind of track like 1 to 2 months of expenses, because like it varies so much from month to month. Like some days you'll have a big purchase and sometimes you won't. Like in July, I started Invisalign, and so that was like an $800 down payment. So you got to keep that in mind, but look at your typical spending on things like what your actual utilities are and your rent and all those things that are fixed expenses. But then be realistic with like your entertainment budget, your food budget, your going out budget. All of that varies from person to person, and it's unfair of me to tell you that you only need to spend $50 a month going out if you go out every weekend, and that's like what you do for fun, you know? Because like for me personally, like I like to eat out at restaurants, and so my restaurant budget kind of bougie, you know? I mean, not so much with what's happening right now. It's a little bit lower for obvious reasons, but like I would be lying if I told you that I haven't used Uber Eats or just like picked up food. Like that would be a lie. So find out what works with you. I know what works for me, and what I'm doing right now is the most. It's just too much. It's just too much. So we're gonna try to fix that, and we're going to start with the categories. All right, so I just looked at what I spent this month, which I'll put here, and then I looked at what I spent in 2019 in July, which I'll also put here. I think that would probably be a more accurate representation of my kind of variable spending. But in terms of my fixed expenses, those have gone down because I just split them now, so it's just cheaper to live and thrive. And I also need to kind of just like set out the categories that are important to me and like the ones that I absolutely like need to get better at spending on. Because I just looked at my shopping budget. There's a lot of internal screaming because that's so bad. So we're gonna physically write with pen and paper like an old person and kind of try to like sort this out, because this is a lot messier than I thought it was gonna be. it. So let's talk about it. So rent. My rent recently changed from me having to pay for it by myself to splitting it in half. So it's gone down exponentially. So that's a new value. My auto insurance is the same amount of dollars that it was before. My internet is the same amount of dollars that it was before. My utilities have, I don't really know the effect of my utilities yet, because like in your head you're like, okay, they're gonna be split in half, there's now two of you, but in reality there's now two people using electricity and we both now work from home, and like, yeah, you got two more people using it. So like, is it really half? Renter's insurance, it went up, but then we split it, but I still think it went up in terms of my price. I think I was paying $14 and now I'm paying $17 a month. So that's it. And I put my student loans on this list because I haven't been paying them for the past couple months because of the stimulus bill that kind of passed at the beginning of everything that's happening right now. And I've just been chilling, which makes it worse that I blew my budget, because it's an additional $600 a month of student loans that I have not been paying. And I blew my budget. Explain that to me, you know? So I definitely have to add that back into my budget. And then I've had some subscriptions that I just like have not counted. Like I've just had them in like La La Land of like magical, like they don't count money world. And that's, you know, that's not really fair. So I pay for Chegg, which is $16 a month. That's kind of self-explanatory. I need it. It's hard being dumb, okay? And then I've been paying for Audible. I got the Michelle Obama like memoir, Becoming, and I've been listening to that and I've really liked it. And since I've been trying to kind of like start Kim Tries into like being a business and like having a side hustle and like doing something like that, I've been listening to a lot of books about building your brand and all of that. So I've been paying for that. And then I've also been paying for an Adobe subscription. And you're probably like, why are you paying for Adobe if your videos look like this? And get off my neck. Honestly, the issue is transferring my videos from my iPhone to my PC. I don't know an efficient way to do it. I've also kind of wanted to see if I can get a Mac and put that into the budget, but I don't know how that's gonna fit yet. Like if I can save like X amount of money every month to get me to the price of a MacBook computer, I don't know if that's gonna work, but we're gonna see. Okay, then we have my variable expenses of grocery store food. So I have a big food category, and I know that. My food budget in total is about $450 a month for food. I feel like that's a lot, you know, for me. And I know it's a lot. I know that about me, so I split it into things that I can track that are manageable. I have a grocery store budget of $200. I have a restaurant budget of $100. I have a fast food budget because it's different than restaurants, because I said it is. I don't have a better explanation than that. So fast food budget of $40, where I get like my Chick-fil-A and my 4 for $4s from. And then my alcohol and bar budget, which is just what they call it, and I don't like calling it an alcohol budget because that sounds like I have an issue, but like bars, like going to a brewery or a winery and grabbing a beer. I feel like it shouldn't be in my restaurant budget because I didn't get to eat anything, so it's separate. Honestly, like that's one of the ones I need to like readjust, because I never spend $50, like ever. And then I have my shopping budget, which is $100 a month, which is like, I typically like don't spend wild out that month. And I'll spend like, this month was like, it's like embarrassing to say, but it's 665 out of 100. Bruh. But I will track that up too. I spent a lot on the apartment, and that's kind of, I mean, that's it. It wasn't $600 on the apartment, but like, it is what it is. And then I have my gas, so to drive places, which hasn't really been an issue recently, depending on gas prices, which are kind of expensive here. It can be upwards of like $80. So those are my categories. I'm going to sit down and kind of figure out what makes sense for these categories now that I have another person living with me, and like what my new rent is and what my new utilities could be expected to be, and see how much money like I have left over, because this isn't even including like my savings goals and all that. Now we've done all of the income minus my expenses, which were both fixed and variable, and that leaves us with $1,453 for savings goals. This is not free money. Free money went into my variable expenses. So $1,453 can be split up into 5 categories. I have my house fund of $500, my rainy day savings fund of $450, I have a Roth IRA, which I'm not really sure how to open, but adults have it, and I'll make a video about it when I figure it out. I have $200 a month to save for a MacBook, and I have $150 a month to save for a nicer camera to make these videos for. And those are kind of just investments with myself. So now I've dedicated a specific bucket for every dollar of my paycheck that comes in every month. So with all that mentioned, those are the last things I needed to spend for. As you're spending, Mint will actually tell you like, hey dog, chill. It goes from like green, yellow to red. So green is like, hey, you're actually spending inside of your budget. You're doing really, really well. Yellow is like, you're doing a lot right now. And red is you're doing the most. And for the last like 3 months, all of my categories have been red. I mean, not all of them, just like the ones that you think would be red, like shopping. Cause like, I'm using purchasing to produce serotonin. Anywho, and then on top of that, I've just been like investing in things like that I don't have in a category. So then like my actual budget is like, hey, you're doing really, really well with how much money you've like set aside. But my like income to spend ratio is like, wait, no, it's like this. Really bad. It's really bad. It's not good. So we're taking this time, August 2020, we're getting our financial stuff back on track, period, okay? And thanks for getting this together with me. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to kind of actually put my budget to use, and I would like to do a follow-up video on like how well this is going, and any changes I think I need to make. And I'm trying to like kind of develop a Excel type file that would make this a little bit easier. And so let me know down in the comments below what you guys use to budget, or how hard I guess it was for you to build a budget, kind of when you got your own money and on your own income and all of that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for doing this.